I used to stay at work till 11 or 12 and then go home and read.
Before Bill Gates would establish Microsoft and have his personal computing software in practically every PC device for the rest of eternity,
you're going to see the future. Windows.
Before the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation would save the lives of upwards of 6 million people through vaccines and improved healthcare, before Bill Gates would develop a machine that turns poop water into drinkable water.
I'm pretty confident that this was the bottled water.
Well, that was rigged. It was all poop water.
Before Bill Gates would donate upwards of $2 billion of his Microsoft fortune, before Bill proved to the world that geeks do it best, he was actually a bit of a troublemaker, getting himself locked up in his early 20s and raising alarms when he was able to hack into complicated software in his early teens. Yeah, the man was a smart cookie. He scored 1,590 out of 1,600 on his SATs, and he still decided to drop out of Harvard.
Can you not get in, Bill?
I don't have my key card with me.
So you can't get into your own building? Okay. How about this?
Oh,
after you.
Thank you.
Bill made it his personal mission to become a millionaire before the age of 30, something which he wasn't able to do. But I don't think he's going to be too upset about it, because he would later go on to have a net worth of $72 billion. Yeah, not bad.
Bill Gates, part Thomas Edison, part Henry Ford, part Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye.
What's going on, guys? My name is Mark, filling in for Michael McCredden, documenting the life and career of Bill Gates prior to fame, here for you on Before They Were Famous. You guys requested this video. Be sure to let us know who you want next in the comments down below. I'm working with Michael on a brand new channel called the Science Faction Show. I'm gonna roll you guys a bit of a trailer right now. Hope to see you over there in the comment sections as well. Hey guys, I'm Mark and I love everything science related. I also like to do some really crazy experiments. Whoa! Yeah! We have tons of videos coming your way each and every week. Here's a little sneak peek. What happens when you swallow gum? For a very long time, modern gum was made from rubber. No, not that kind of rubber. If a person swallows a lot of gum at one time, the digestive tract can become clogged. Oh god, it should not come out that color. Do you want to see it? Getting factual about snot. Boogers come in all shapes and sizes. They can be squishy, slimy, tough, even crumbly. What would happen if the Earth suddenly stopped spinning? Earth rotates on its axis, returning the sun to the same position after 24 hours. Most guys have an average sized dinky. Studies have found that the average is around 5.4 inches when a man is fully present. If you guys have any suggestions on what kind of videos you want to see in the future, be sure to leave a comment down below. Also, be sure to subscribe, because this is going to be a lot of fun. We're just getting started. And remember guys, stay geeky. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Be sure to subscribe. Now, let's get back to the bio. Bill Gates was born William Henry Gates III on October 28, 1955 in Seattle, Washington. He is of English, German, Northern Irish, and Scottish lineage. He has two sisters, Christiane, who is older than him, and Libby, who was younger. His father, William H. Gates Sr., was a lawyer, while his mother worked as a teacher for a short time before devoting her time to raising her children, working on civic affairs, and serving on corporate boards. The Gates were a close family, and growing up, Bill, or Trey as the family called him, along with his siblings, were encouraged to strive for greatness and be competitive. Bill would organize the family athletic games, but he also really liked board games. Risk was his favorite, but he was also really good at Monopoly. Is anybody surprised by those board game choices? As a child, Bill read a lot. He would spend hours poring over reference books such as encyclopedias, and even as young as 8, he accepted his church reference challenge to memorize 3 chapters of the Bible, and he was able to do it word for word. And the Sermon on the Mount is only 2,000 words long. However, Around the age of 11 or 12, his parents became concerned about his behavior. He was doing well in school, but he seemed bored and withdrawn at times, which led his parents to worry he was a loner. When Bill turned 13, they enrolled him in the exclusive preparatory Lakeside School. It was here that he began to excel in nearly all his subjects, mainly math and science, but he also did very well in English and drama. While at Lakeside, a Seattle computer company offered his school one of the very first public computers in the country to be used by school students. Bill became fascinated with what computers could do, and he spent much of his time working on this terminal.
You have to understand, when you spend your time thinking intensely about a field, from a very young age, that's where you can do great things.
He wrote a tic-tac-toe program in basic computer language, which allowed users to play against the computer. Remember, he was around 14 at the time when he did that, which is kind of impressive. Lakeside School was also the place that Bill Gates met Paul Allen, who was 2 years older. The two bonded over their love of computers and became close friends. The two were quite different people. The once thought of loner Bill was now feisty and aggressive, whereas Allen was a bit more reserved and shy. Allen and Bill would disagree and clash over who was right or who was in charge of the computer lab. On one occasion, their argument escalated to the point where Allen actually banned Gates from the computer lab. One can assume this is a punishment he probably didn't take a liking to. But Allen wasn't a complete goody two-shoes himself, and the two eventually got their school computer privileges revoked after they were caught running a little hacker scam. One included Bill hacking his schedule so that he was placed in more classes with girls. That's right, Bill was a hacker before he hit puberty and also a bit of a lady killer. Woohoo! The two boys needed access back to their beloved computer, so they offered to debug a program for the computer company. And as a gesture, they developed a payroll program as well, which they then hacked into, of course. Kids, hey. These were young men. Of course they were gonna push their abilities to the limit to see what they could do. They're kind of like real world X-Men.
Young people.
At the age of 15, Gates and Allen went into business together. They developed a computer program called Trafo Data, which monitored traffic patterns in Seattle and made $20,000 as a result. At this point, Bill wanted to start his own business with Allen, but his parents wanted him to finish school and go to college so he could become a lawyer. After graduating from Lakeside in 1973, Bill took the college SAT test, and he did very, very well. He scored 1,590 out of 1,600. This intellectual feat would be something that he would bring up to people when he was first introduced to them. And I mean, why wouldn't he?
I won't be able to share my views in other areas.
Bill enrolled at Harvard University in the fall, and while he was thinking of becoming a lawyer, he ended up spending the majority of his time in the computer lab than in class. Gates didn't really study, per se. He would sleep a few hours, cram for a test, and then pass with a reasonable grade. I actually heard Michael McCrudden say the same thing, but instead of computer lab, it was the pub, and instead of sleeping, it was sleeping around, and instead of studying, he was winging it. So kudos to Michael, because he actually did graduate, something I can't say for Mr. Gates. But Mr. Gates had bigger plans, including his goal to be a millionaire before the age of 30. While at Harvard, Bill and Allen kept in contact. Allen himself had dropped out of Washington State and was eager to get his pal working with him on what he saw as the future of computing, the Altair 8800 mini computer kit. Gates and Allen contacted the company who made the system, MITS, and pitched the idea of making basic software for the system. Over the next 2 months, Gates and Allen wrote the software at Harvard's computer lab and were actually operating blindly, not having access to an Altair. Regardless, they got the job done. Allen was hired at MITS, and Gates wasn't too far behind them, much to the dismay of his parents. Bill dropped out of Harvard and began working with Allen at MITS. But these weren't the type of boys to sit back and let others call the shots. In 1975, Gates and Allen formed Microsoft, an upstart company with little funding and huge dreams, and for some times, it was quite the grind. Bill also found himself in trouble once again. This time, it wasn't for hacking, but speeding and driving violations in 1975 and 1977, where he earned for himself some stripes when he got locked up.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
By 1979, Bill Gates moved Microsoft to Bellevue, Washington, and immersed himself in his work. At the age of 23, Gates placed himself at the head of Microsoft, overseeing 25 employees. That year, Microsoft grossed approximately $2.5 million. 6 years later, At the age of 31, Bill Gates would achieve his long-time goal, netting for himself the title of a millionaire.
As a percentage of my assets, 99% of my assets are the stock I own in Microsoft.
And the rest of the story, well, you know the rest of the story because this is before they were famous. I mean, I'm not going to go away until you subscribe. So just, subscribe. It's right over there or down there. I'm pretty sure it's there. Have you done it yet? Yeah, you have. You made the right decision. Stay geeky.
Over half of our retail sales next year will come from Macintosh software.